Hello and welcome to Monday's programme.
Coming up tonight between now and 6:30.
Good evening. A Plymouth store set up to help families struggling to buy food says it's seeing huge numbers of people since Universal Credit was introduced in the city.
The new scheme, which combines 6 benefits into one monthly payment, has proven controversial and prompted concerns from charities. Although the government announced a delay rolling it out across the country, it still intends to implement it in full by 2023. Nick Smith has this report. Next on tonight's programme, a cash machine has been blown up in Langport in Somerset.
Although no one was hurt, police say it was a dangerous incident and are appealing for information to try to catch those responsible. Ben McGrail has the story. Now, health experts are warning fitness apps and devices can be dangerous for people with eating disorders.
In the last year, over 4 million have been sold, and numbers are expected to increase after the NHS today announced its 10-year plan to encourage healthier lifestyles to try and save thousands of lives.
However, one 20-year-old from the southwest who's suffering from anorexia is warning others like her not to use a Fitbit after she increased her exercise and slowly cut what she ate.
Coralie says she was suffering from an eating disorder when her life became controlled by her Fitbit for 2 years. Her weight became dangerously low.
You could track everything, and it had a dashboard that showed the weights, the calories in, calories out, like how many calories I should eat to keep to a certain weight. And you could also set a goal weight, and I was not qualified as someone going through an eating disorder to set what I thought should be my ideal goal. And actually what it did is it fueled my anorexia. I had a really intense pain in my stomach, and it was only when I went to the doctor that they said that's hunger.
And it wasn't just her health that suffered. She slowly started separating herself from friends and family.
The addiction to the app meant that I felt like I couldn't kind of break away from it. It was tracking everything, including my sleep. So it was the first thing I checked in the morning and the last thing I checked at night. I felt like that was my only friend. I was isolated with the app, and it knew more about me than my friends and family did.
Eating disorder charities say they've seen numerous people who are addicted to fitness apps and urge manufacturers to take more responsibility.
It is very common for people to have eating disorders to have perfectionist traits. That perfectionism, that desire to do everything right can really take over. And so actually any of these apps or devices that encourage competition, excessive counting, whether that be on a day-by-day basis or perhaps compared to other people, can be very dangerous.
There's no kind of advice on those apps. You can kind of log in straight away and kind of set your own targets. There's nothing that kind of flags to say like you're overtraining or you're underweight.
Coralie's weight is now stable, but for others the effect of fitness apps is still acute. Zara has anorexia and says she became obsessed with her Fitbit, trying to walk more and more steps. She became so underweight, she needed emergency care.
It'd be the first thing I'd think about when I woke up. I'd set my alarm earlier to get up and get moving straight away, and each day I'd try to beat the day before until it came to a point where I was just so exhausted I couldn't do any more.
So it was a lot of pressure to put on yourself to try to beat that target. Presumably you're up to kind of, 20,000 steps or something you're trying to reach more?
Crazy amounts of steps, absolutely ridiculous. And then obviously I lost a lot of weight and I just lost control really.
When you buy a Fitbit, it does come with a health warning. It's in this manual. It says consult your doctor before beginning any exercise and before use if you have any pre-existing conditions. But it's below lots of other general warnings, including not to use your Fitbit in a sauna or steam room.
And laugh and not have a care in the world, just like they do now, and I just want to do that again. I want to go out and have more fun.
And Zara has a warning to others who have eating disorders about using fitness trackers.
Don't get started. Seek help, someone to help you manage things in a more sensible way. Like, you don't need a fitness tracker. We never used to have them, so why do we need them now?
That was Zara ending that report there, and if you've been affected by any of those issues, there's help and
Well, for more on this, we can speak to Renee McGregor, who is an eating disorder dietitian. Renee, thanks for coming on the programme. We heard there from Coralie and Zara in Kylie's report, very powerful stories. Have you seen people like them coming into your clinics who are using Fitbits? What do they tell you?
I'd like to see in fitness apps and trackers to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future.
I mean, what has overdone it? If someone's instead of more than you need to, and it's like, actually, could there be something?
Looks like they're here to stay. There will be a lot of people who perhaps over Christmas have got these apps or Fitbits for the first time from family and friends. They are successful for a lot of people. The NHS kind of starting today to promote healthier lifestyles and living. For people who may be just starting out on that journey or who are finding themselves looking at those apps a little bit more often than perhaps they should, what would you say to them?
I mean, I think it's important to say we're not, and so I think it's just be wary.
Greg, we'll have to leave it there. Very interesting advice. Thanks very much for coming on the programme.
And there's more coverage of the NHS 10-year plan. It's on the ITV Evening News at 6:30. Mary Nightingale has all the details. But before that, the Vice-Chancellor of Exeter University is facing renewed criticism over how much he's paid as he approaches the final year of his contract.
Sir Steve Smith is in line to receive hundreds of thousands of pounds in bonus payments next year, while unions say some lecturers are effectively being asked to take pay cuts. Bob Cruz is outside the university this evening, and Bob, pay at universities once again proving an issue here.
Now you're watching ITV News here in the West Country. Still to come on tonight's programme before 6:30.
Before that, though, as the debate over plastic waste continues, a company in North Devon believes it is one of the first in the country to tackle another material that is nearly always used just once and doesn't biodegrade. We are talking about polystyrene.
The Barnstable firm is used to handling large quantities of scrap metal and other materials for recycling, but hopes to develop a new sideline for the material, as Richard Lawrence now reports. Now, the leader of Somerset County Council spoke to protesters in Taunton today, angry at multi-million-pound cuts being made at the authority in response to...
OK, next on the programme, it is time for sport and a roundup of all the weekend action. Here's Carrie.
We start with rugby and a narrow win for Exeter Chiefs. Having seen their nearest rivals Saracens lose to Sale on Friday night, Chiefs then suffered a scare themselves against Bristol Bears. Bears led. Plymouth Albion recorded a great win over promotion-chasing Blackheath in the National League One. Albion in football, both Plymouth Argyle and Exeter City were without a game due to the FA Cup. But the Mid-National League South, Torquay United's incredible run continues. The goals have... And that's your sport for now.
Carrie Davis there. Now, a sound last heard in St Austell nearly 20 years ago reverberated around the town again today.
Lovely stuff. Now, a former Royal Marine from Devon has completed a gruelling solo trek to the South Pole. These are the pictures of... And with that said, it is time to turn our attention to the weather. Thankfully, Alex, not been that cold. It's been a bit milder over the last couple of days.
I'd love to do something like that.
Would you?
Yeah,
Well,
I'd
get
love
on
it.
your skis then, off you go.
I've never skied in my life, so that could be a problem. But yeah, it's, this week actually, it's not looking too bad. It's a bit like last week. We've had a bit of a dodgy start to the week. However...
I was thinking driving in today though, Alex, I just want a bit of sun. Be nice, wouldn't it?
I love this time of year though.
Do you?
Can't beat it.
OK.
Only
all right.
joking.
Thanks very much. Now, just before we go, let's give you a reminder of the main headlines here in the West Country this evening. And in Plymouth...
That brings us to the close of this evening's programme, so it's goodbye from all of us. I will be back, though, at 10:30 to bring you the late news.
Now I'll hand you to Mary Nightingale as the ITV News continues. From all of us here, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.